The global economy is controlled by the 1%, the super rich who hold more than 40% of all the wealth in the world. But have you ever wondered how they got so wealthy? Or even worse, what are they doing with their wealth? Well, in this video, I'll expose how the 1% use debt to print money legally. And once you see how easy it is for them to do this, you will realize that the middle class and the poor are getting screwed over and over and over again. So make sure to watch until the end, because at the end I'm gonna tell you exactly what you can do to protect yourself from getting screwed over. Because once you understand how these insanely rich people use debt to print money, then you can protect yourself. Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to talk about the 1%. How do they get so much wealth? How do they keep getting so much wealth? And what is the average person like you and me supposed to do to make sure that we don't get screwed over? If you are ready, let's dive right in. So here are some stats on the 1%. The richest 1% of the population holds more than $46 trillion in assets. To put into perspective, the bottom 90% of Americans have less than $46 trillion in assets. The top 10% of U.S. households own 73% of all the stocks in America. Again, the bottom 90% of Americans own less than 73% of all the stocks in America. The top 1% of Americans hold nearly 40% of all the money in America. The bottom 50% of Americans hold less than 40% of all the money in America. I mean, doesn't that seem kind of crazy? I mean, how is it that the super rich get to benefit from holding almost half of all the money out there when they only make up 1% of the population? Well, if you want to find out how, then just keep watching. In 2022, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, they all went to space. They took joy rides on their rocket ships that they paid for. And while they were floating around in space looking back down on Earth, they probably realized how small of a percentage of the total population they actually make up. After all, there are more than 8 billion humans alive on planet Earth right now. And yet somehow these three men and many others like them hold more than 40% of all the money in the world. So how did they do this? How did they get so much power over the world? And how can you protect yourself from getting screwed over? Well, let's find out. It's simple. Rich people borrow money and they borrow a lot of money. Let's look at the balance sheet of a billionaire. So let's say that I'm worth $100 million, but I want to be worth $200 million. So I go to the bank and I say, hey, I need to borrow $50 million. Why not? The bank says, sure, we'll lend you $50 million. We're not a charity. So you're gonna have to pay us back plus interest. Okay, no problem. I can do that. I sign the documents and boom, I have $50 million of cash. Now I'm worth $150 million. All I had to do was sign a piece of paper saying that I'm gonna pay back $50 million. That's pretty easy. I can do that. So now what am I gonna do with this extra $50 million? Well, I'm gonna buy a jet. It costs $50 million. So I buy the jet. Now I have a jet and I'm still $50 million in debt. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna fly around on my new jet and I'm gonna make $1 billion because guess what, I'm worth $1 billion now. That's right. I'm a billionaire. And all I had to do was sign a piece of paper saying I'm gonna pay $50 million back later. And then I bought a jet for $50 million. But now I'm $50 million in debt. Oh, and by the way, I'm a billionaire. This is insane. But it gets even crazier because the truth is that the rich don't just buy jets with the money they print. They go ahead and they buy companies. Jeff Bezos borrowed money to buy Amazon. Elon Musk borrowed money to buy Twitter. Richard Branson borrowed money to start Virgin Atlantic Airways. And every time they do this, they devalue your money. They devalue your paycheck. They devalue your savings account, your 401k, your investments. The fact is that the rich can simply print money by taking out loans and you, the taxpayer, end up funding those loans. And guess what happens when they pay off the loan? Do you think that the money they use to take out the loan comes out of their pocket? No, of course not. That money came from you, the taxpayer. They use your money to pay off the debt and then they still get to keep all the profit from using your money. It's theft, pure and simple. But they call it smart investing or smart borrowing. I call it theft. Think about it. When Jeff Bezos borrowed money to buy Amazon, he didn't take out a loan to buy a private jet or a yacht. He took out a loan to buy a company. A company that is now worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah, that's right. The guy literally took out a loan to buy a company and now that company is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And guess who's footing the bill? That's right. You are. The government taxes you to pay off Jeff Bezos's loans. The fact is that the rich can simply print money by taking out loans and you, the taxpayer, end up funding those loans. So how much money did Jeff Bezos borrow? Well, according to his latest financial disclosures, he borrowed between $100 million and $250 million in the last year alone. That's right. The guy is borrowing hundreds of millions of dollars in the last year alone. And guess what? He's not the only one. According to the Federal Reserve, U.S. corporations have taken out a record amount of loans in the last year. More than $3.7 trillion worth of loans. The question is, where is all that money going? Well, according to a recent survey, more than half of executives say they plan to use the money to finance acquisitions, meaning they're going to go out there and buy other companies. That means that they're going to go out there and buy more and more debt. And guess what? The more debt they buy, the more money they're going to print. And the more money they print, the more money they make. And the more money they make, the more money they can borrow. It's a vicious cycle and it's one that you need to be aware of because if you're not aware of it, then you're going to get screwed over. You need to understand that the rich are playing the game of money printing on easy mode and you replaying on hard mode. You see, when the rich take out loans, they're not paying interest on those loans. Why? Because they're using your money to pay the interest. When you go out and take out a loan, you're the one who pays the interest. But when the rich go out and take out a loan, they don't pay the interest. You pay the interest. Think about that for a second. You go out and take out a loan, you pay the interest on that loan. But when the rich go out and take out a loan, you pay the interest on that loan. It's insane, but it's true. What can you do to protect yourself from getting screwed over? Well, first you need to educate yourself. You need to understand how the system works. You need to understand how money is created. You need to understand how the rich get richer. And once you understand how the game is played, then you can start to play the game yourself. Start by educating yourself. Learn as much as you can about money, about investing, about business. Then start taking action. Take small steps at first, but take action. Don't just sit on the sidelines and complain about how the game is rigged against you because it's not. It's not rigged against you. You just don't know how to play the game yet. Once you learn how to play the game, then you can start to win. But you need to take action. You need to get out there and start learning. Don't wait any longer. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll get there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And if you want to support the channel even further, then consider becoming a member. As a member, you'll get access to exclusive content that I'm going to start making very soon. You also get to vote on which topics I cover on the channel, and you get to chat with me directly. If you're interested in any of that, then become a member today. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, all the best.